I was there a week and a half ago.
Nice. Cool. Are you ready? Ready, Ash? It's called our Seaport Ritchie City Council meeting Tuesday, July 14th, 2026. I'd like to invite Servant Leader Fields for the invocation and remain standing for the pledge.
So we just want to thank you, God, and we trust in you for the city council meeting, the stuff that's on the agenda, and also the CRA. So we just thank you that through you, you give us wisdom, and that we could get a lot of stuff done in the community for development, redevelopment, and the stuff, the equipment that the fire department needs and everything. This is just going to continue to be done, and we thank you for the team that is working together and the events they've done and doing and will do, and they get in the businesses and the community behind them for everything that they've done. And we thank you for the wisdom and guidance that you're using them in to make this a great place to not only live, but work and to be able to have events in, and to see that our waterfront park is being developed for the community. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, have roll, please.
Mayor John Eric Hoover.
Here.
Vice Mayor Chris Mayer.
Here.
Councilman Robert Hubbard.
Here.
Councilwoman Lisa Burke.
Here.
Councilwoman Christine Sullivan. Here. City Attorney Nancy Meyer.
Here.
Interim City Manager Sal Carey.
Here.
Thank you. So no minutes tonight. So first up, we've got comments from the general public. I do got one sign up. Danny Fields, welcome.
Okay, 8114 Leo Kid, Danny Fields. Again, I just want to thank you guys for everything you do. We know that Light of the World is going to be having a backpack stuffing party. And so that's going to be there at 8114 Leo Kid. That's coming up on the 22nd at noontime. And so we'll have pizza. And if there's any flyers for any events that you guys have, upcoming stuff, this would be a good time that we could put that in that backpack stuff with all the supplies that are free that we're going to be doing at the park. And then we could advertise, and then that shows that the city is part of pouring into the community. So if you do have anything like that, as we have events coming up, you let me know. I'll make sure that stuff like that gets get in there. And so you could come and
Backpack stuffing?
it's just going to be the backpacks with all school supplies in it for
Date?
kids. That's the 22nd, July the 22nd at noontime at Light of the World Tabernacle on Leo Kid Road.
Yep.
There. And then we'll end up at the waterfront park to give them away. And everything's free there. The food, and this event on the 25th is where we'll have the police, the fire department, if they could be there and to help be part of passing stuff out. And then we'll just make it a great event for our community. And we always represent the local businesses, the church and the city and the police and the fire department. So it's a great public relationship. So we continue to do things like that. And then Jerry's also having another event coming up, and I know we have a lot of events, and you guys schedule events, and so that would be coming up in the waterfront park again, and that will be on a Sunday, August the 7th at 4 to 7, and it's a free event, and there's going to be live music, there's going to be prizes, there's going to be food trucks and vendors. So basically, he's handling that. I usually partner with them and handle the stuff that we schedule at Light of the World, and somebody cares. But this is more of his event, so if you want to advertise that and be a part of it, come out and promote it and have your families and people there. There will be music there. They will have vendors. They'll have games. They'll have giveaways, prizes, and more. So this is sponsored by Somebody Cares and Good News and Light of the World and the community. And so any part that we could continue to lift up the community and our businesses would be great. And so that stuff's already been scheduled. They'll work it out, and I've already got my permit in, and they've got their permits in check. So we just go from there. I don't want to take up a lot of time because I know we got a lot of stuff on the agenda, but I'm grateful, and we get good feedback from everybody. So I know you guys have events, so as much as I could help you and advertise as well, this is what I want to be hands-on with you guys, and we could even bring other people in to try to maybe sponsor and stuff like that I was talking about with a meeting I had today with some other places. So thank you.
Thanks, Danny. That's all sign-ups I have. By show of hands, anybody else like to speak? Okay, now I close public comment. And moving on to comments from city manager, pass it over to Mr. Clary for his comments.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Staff and I met with Mike Moore, the Southern Group, to assist with the LMS HMGP roof retrofit grant for City Hall, PD, and the Fire Department. Per FDEM, it was recommended that we see if our lobbyists can assist in moving this project forward. Information has been sent to Mr. Moore for his review. We've been working on this grant for two and a half years. Trying to get this done. It's basically re-roofing the building here, which is part of City Hall, the police department, the fire department, and we're at a stalemate now. So even FDEM has said, see if the lobbyist himself can get us some assistance in moving this forward. Staff and I met with Black Mountain Software, BMS, our primary accounting and utility billing software, to discuss implementing online payments directly through BMS. Currently, the city uses a third-party processor for credit card payments, and those payments must be manually entered into the BMS program. The switchover will apply payments directly to a customer account in real time. So basically right now, we receive these payment statements from the third-party processor. So then our staff has to go ahead and enter them into Black Mountain, into the utility account, and then, obviously has to get reconciled to the bank. This will eliminate a lot of manual data entry and, hopefully free up staff to work on other projects.
Is this something they just now started offering or something? Or
Well, they've, on their own, yes. On their own. This entire time, the third party has been integrated with the Black Mountain. As part of just being the portal, people would pay. But the problem is that it's being a third party, we'd still have to manually enter those payments. Now it'll be completely streamlined.
Good.
And this has been a long time coming. The last city manager who approved the third party was Tom O'Neill. So it's been several years. So it's good. This is a great upgrade for the same software that we've had for a long time. Public Works and Stormwater Departments are finalizing the landscaping portion of the stormwater wall replacement project at Ritchie Drive and Wilkins Street. The work completed at this corner has revitalized aging infrastructure in the area of the city. I want to commend Daryl Rose and his team. Pretty much all the guys that are all basically working on this project, along with SC Signature, who finalized the construction of the wall. I've been by there several times. It was an eyesore for a very long time, plus a major safety concern. I think this is a great corner now for the city, and hopefully we can do more projects like this. Construction of the Chick-fil-A restaurant is still progressing. The demolition of the site is tentatively scheduled for August, with construction to follow. Staff will keep the City Council apprised as we learn more. Staff met with McKim and Creed on Thursday, June 9th, to meet with the architect and finalize specific design items, such as fixtures and hardware, flooring, painting, things like that. A council presentation for the final product will be presented in an August meeting. The meeting went very well. We've kind of pretty much did all the final touches, all the final brush strokes. George, our IT manager, was with us. He finalized it. He's in the process of finalizing his touches as well. So we're going to have a finalized water plant project for you. 3 of the 4 lift station generators as part of the HMGP grant project have been set at the lift station locations and are awaiting final connections. City Council will be presented with a property purchase for the Olsen Street generator placement at tonight's CRA meeting. So 3 of the 4 are in place. We're just waiting for the final switches and connections to be made, and then we'll be discussing Olsen Street. The fire department will conduct medical director training this week, and the fire chief attended the Florida Fire Chiefs Conference. The fire department also performed 2 water rescues on Friday the 10th. Both rescues were successful with no major injuries, and both boats were utilized for the rescues. Once again, I want to commend the fire department for the work they did. It was really hazardous conditions out there, but they managed to get both rescues taken care of. Police department, in coordination with several agencies across 5 southeastern states, kicked off the Southern Slow Down Traffic Initiative to reduce speed-related crashes, injuries, and fatalities. This is a week-long campaign that occurs annually in the summertime. Obviously, because of traveling and everything like that, all these departments coordinate for this type of initiative. I want to introduce our new human resources specialist, Carrie Riano. If you'd like to stand, please. She started with the city on Monday, July 6th. Carrie comes from the private sector with 7 years of experience in human resources, and staff looks forward to her expertise to amplify this field. I just say in such a short amount of time, she's integrated with all department heads, myself, several staff members. She's already bringing a lot of good things HR related to the table. So I'm really looking forward to working with her and everyone else.
Well, Carrie.
Our upcoming meetings, we have a 7/20/26 events committee meeting. That's this following Monday. We have a 7/21/26 PBA negotiating meeting. We have a 7/28 planning and zoning meeting. That'll be at 1:30 in the afternoon, followed by our regular scheduled council meeting and CRE meetings on 28th. This Friday I'll be out of the office, but we'll be available by phone and email. I have doctor's appointments that I'm going to be attending to. And then I'm going to attempt to take a short vacation from July 29th to Saturday, August 1st. I am currently discussing with staff on who will fill in for me during that time, and I'll have that update for council soon. On my final note, the city clerk has created a calendar for the city council to review and decide upon setting our workshops and confirming our budget hearings. We will get this calendar to both Councilman Hubbard and Councilwoman Burke to view and confirm, but I kind of wanted to talk about this so we can lock in this. I technically right now I have listed 3 workshops that I would like to start with, and then of course going into our hearings, which are going to be in September. So our first workshop is going to be on the 30th, Thursday, July 30th. I wanted to see if council was amenable to schedule that.
Yes.
Yeah, should be good.
What time?
6.
I would assume the same time, 6. Would that work with your schedule?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, works great.
Bob, Lisa, 6 o'clock on the 30th for the workshop. That go with you?
What are we talking about at that workshop?
I'm looking at my calendar now.
Budget
Okay.
workshop?
It'll be our first budget workshop and CIP, mainly CIP items.
6 p.m.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Bob, good?
Yeah, 6 p.m. That's not a problem.
Okay. Okay, we'll do that one.
Okay. Our next possible workshop is that we have Tuesday, the 4th of August.
I will be out of town on that week,
Okay. Would that be the entire week you're out?
the entire week.
All right. We can do it the 13th of
Board
Thursday.
League of Cities.
That's on the 13th.
Yeah, that's that following week. Yeah,
Okay.
both of us will be out that week.
I'm building the next week.
We have one on the 18th.
We do have one scheduled on the 18th, which I was going to confirm. I'd like to squeeze in 3 if possible. Worst case, we can do the 27th, Thursday the 27th
For the third
for
one.
the third workshop.
What time?
6 o'clock.
Okay, I can do that.
That one's iffy for me, but probably. But I have an appointment that day. If I get out in time.
And then what the second one? Second would be on the 18th.
Yeah, and then our second one will be on the 18th, and then we'll do the one on the 27th.
So we're moving the 4th to the 27th
Yes,
at 6.
at 6. And the 18th is 6 o'clock. Okay for the 18th?
Yeah.
6 o'clock, and that's a budget meeting.
Yeah, that'll be a budget workshop.
The only thing with that third one on the 27th, that puts you a week out from the actual first hearing, that cause an issue with staff?
I think by that third workshop, we should pretty much have this
Okay.
kind of locked up. If we're having issues come our second workshop, we'll see what we can do for the 20th. So if anything, if we want to tentatively just keep the 20th in mind in case we have to move this up. Yeah, let's just tentatively.
Are the hearings hard set? Do they got to be the 3rd and the 17th? Could we push those the 10th and 24th if we need to?
The opposite of the school board.
So yeah, that's
So
fine.
those have to be where they're at. Okay.
Yeah, because she confirms that with the school board
Okay.
when they are. So
So at this point here, we're the 18th and 27th of August, right?
Yes.
yes,
So 30 July, 18th, and 27th.
with the 20th being a backup on August 20th, just in case.
Yeah.
All depending on where we get on the 18th, which I feel that we'll be moving along fine because we also have, don't forget we have council meetings in between.
Yeah.
So if we need to move a specific budget discussion or a specific item, I will move that to one of our regular meetings and make that an item to discuss. So I'm trying to coordinate with staff what particular items we're going to be talking about via the workshops and the regular scheduled meetings. So, and then I think that's good. Yeah. So our hearings are going to have to be on the 3rd and the 17th of September.
So while we're talking about schedule, and that week, that city council meeting on the 11th, both me and Chris will be out. No, we'll be here for that. We leave that night. That's right.
Right.
Yeah, so we're good. Never mind. Oh, good.
Okay. And that's all I have.
So the 18th is a workshop and the 27th is a workshop.
Yep. And July
Correct.
30th.
And July 3rd, yeah.
July 30th is not a problem. I've got that. You said 30th or 31st?
30th. Thursday.
Thursday, July 30th.
Okay. Yeah, 27th, let's see, the 27th is not a problem. The 18th shouldn't be a problem. No, I'll put it down. We'll see how that goes, I guess you said, right?
Yeah, and we got the 20th as a backup too if we need.
Okay. 20th would probably be better for me, but we'll see how it goes.
If I may ask, your budget hearings on the September 3rd and September 17th, are they starting at 6?
I think we
They have to
normally.
be after 5:30, right?
Yeah, it have to be 5:30.
I'm sure they're the timing. I have a conflict on the 3rd because every town obviously is doing this about the same time. So I will talk with my colleagues and we'll figure it out. I'll let you know.
Okay.
So I will be remote on the 17th.
Of September?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Do you want me to notate on the final calendar a tentative date for August 20th? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
probably
you
hard
see
to
it?
block it, yeah. That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
We're good.
All right, thanks. Next up, comments from the city attorney. Pass it to.
I have no comments. The legal matter tracker is attached. It's updated as of whenever I would just Ashley for the deadline to get it to you. So it might be some things that are updated a little bit. But if you have any specific questions, of course, I'm happy to answer them.
Where is the,
Updated as of last Monday. Thank you.
yeah, where's that at?
If you click on comments from city attorney,
Right after.
Oh, right at that. Okay. No, there it is. Did anybody have anything to ask about on this?
I will let you know that we, Sal and Veronica and I met today to talk about the special magistrate abatement issue, and we will be bringing that forward. And now that we have all your budget dates down, we'll try to find if it works for us and send that to you guys to find a date for a workshop.
The nonprofit funding. Where is that on here? Let's see.
The policy?
Yeah.
It should be, they call it the donation policy, that one? It's, One, two, fifth from the bottom.
There it is. Okay, yeah, donation policy. So, when we expect to have that?
That would be the question for that gentleman next to you. It's ready to go on an agenda.
Can it be on the next agenda?
I have a place. I think we have a placeholder. We have a placeholder for it already, so we can move
For
forward.
next meeting? Okay. Perfect. Anybody got anything else? Well, I see it on here. So I was going to mention my comments, but on the interim city manager contract, Sal and I met today, and I think we've got everything worked out. So we should have that ready by next meeting as well. So give you guys an update on that.
Well, kind of. You know,
It sounded promising anyway.
it's worked out. Okay.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Sal's trying to negotiate for an upfront parking spot.
Well,
Actually, I would love an awning. You know. That's, you know, we're talking about that.
Bubble for his
A
car.
bubble that would work.
yeah,
We might be able to work that out.
you did mention that earlier, but
Have to get it built and approved with the building official.
that's right. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one there.
If it's on the table.
Okay. Okay, that's all you had? Yep. Okay. Move on, comments from boards, committees. Any board committee comments? Did CSE meet or anybody? Yeah, it's coming. Just general stuff first. So the events committee, we met last night. We meet every Monday night, seems like. So we finalized the sponsorship levels for the Mayor's Ball coming up on September 11th, which obviously we need to have that policy in place because the Tunnel Towers support. The sponsorship levels, I'll go share those with you. And I kudos to Kim LeCarry, Sal's wife. She always is very creative on her name. So the presenting sponsor is the Big Apple at 10,000. That sponsorship level is only going to do one at that level, and they'll get a table of 10 at the ball, and they'll get a full page ad in the program. Then the next level is the Times Square table sponsor. That's at $5,000 level. They'll get a table of 8 included in that. It's a table sponsor, and they'll have a 25%. So basically, you have a full page and you have 4 per page. So one of those 25% quadrants in there would be for the table sponsors. Then the next level is the Lady Liberty at $2,500. They get 4 tickets to the event, and of course all these get recognition as well. But I'm just kind of going over the tickets, I guess. 4 tickets at the event, and they'll get there'll be 8 per page of those, so they get 12.5% ad on a page. And then the Lights and Sirens sponsor, which is $1,250, and those will have basically 12 per page, so 3, 3, 3, 3. They'll get a small portion of that for their ad there, and they also get 2 tickets to the event. And then the final 2 levels are the Broadway Business Booster at $500. No tickets are involved in that. And the Yellow Cab sponsor at $250. We talked about the Broadway Business Booster. They would have their name in the program with their logo. And then the Yellow Cab sponsor at $250, they would just have the business name. That's kind of how that sponsorship will lay out. That package is being finalized and should be ready sometime this week to go out. The ticket prices we set at $125 individual. And a table of 8, if you want to buy a full table of 8, they give you 10% off. So it'd be $900 instead of $1,000. So, and that's kind of where we're at on the ball stuff. So we're obviously looking at the DJ options, the decorations and stuff. So we're kind of knee deep in that stuff. But that we did finalize the sponsorship packet and the ticket prices. So look for those to come out soon. Any other boards committees in general? Okay, so we have 2 appointments. So first up, item 1, appointment of members to boards committee, Citizens Advisory Committee. I'll pass that to Mr. LeCarry for introduction.
Actually, I was going to hand this to the city clerk.
Ashley.
Can you pull the mic? Hold on. Catch me off guard. Thank you for that. Okay, so this is the appointment of Vanessa Phillips to the Citizens Advisory Committee. She had submitted an application through the CAC process, and she did come to attend a CAC meeting, but unfortunately that meeting was canceled. They didn't have quorum. She did show to speak about her interest, but she didn't get to speak to anybody. So I believe she is here this evening. I don't know. I can't put a face to a
No,
name,
I think
but
she's
not here. Vanessa Phillips was interested in joining the CAC committee, so it's up for your discussion and direction.
If I may, thank you.
Mhm.
If I may, I will remind you that the resolution for the CAC said that your appointments shall be based on, not that you shall appoint, but your appointment shall be based on a CAC recommendation. So if she's interested, I think that first part still needs to happen.
Okay.
Because that's what your resolution requires. CAC needs to make the recommendation.
Okay, so I guess we kick that back to the CAC to action first. Okay. And which the next CACs would be, I guess, August, first week of August? First Thursday in August. Yeah.
August 6th.
Okay. Next up is item number 2, appointment of members to boards and committees, Historical Preservation Committee. Pass it over to Ashley for introduction.
So the next one is for Miss Caroline Gonzalez. She did let me know that she was not able to attend tonight's meeting. There is no special direction for Historical Preservation Committee, but she is interested in joining the committee.
Okay. So with that, I'll open up the floor to motion and our discussion on.
Make a motion, we approve Caroline Gonzalez of the Historical Preservation Committee.
Hold on a second. Isn't it full?
Oh, that's a good
There is
question.
an open position.
Oh, okay.
How many?
Second.
A second. How many we have on there?
4, and it's 5. Or, hold on.
Did someone,
There is an open position.
did someone resign?
Yes, someone resigned.
Okay.
Who resigned?
I gotta look at it again. I'll have to go.
Wasn't that the lady from out of town?
I don't know. I didn't know anybody resigned.
But we had a lady from out of town that,
I gotta look.
Should we double check before we action
There
this?
is an open position.
Definitely have opening? Okay.
Yes,
All right. So I get a motion second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put the vote on in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Next up is consent agenda. So look for a motion to approve the July 14th, 2026 consent
I've got
agenda.
a question about the consent agenda.
Okay.
Under the fence outlet, Olsner Park, it says our original budget was $1 million for events. We're trying to understand that.
That's the budget line item that it came out of.
Okay, that's where the money came
That's where the money came out. It's coming out.
from. Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay. Motion second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put the vote on in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Next up, we have. So next up is public hearing. That public hearing was stayed for now. The building department and the appellant, they had a discussion. They were going to grant additional 60 days to work some things out. So we're going to put that on hold for now. Next up is council business. Item number 5, approval of phase 2 of dredging project, which includes 60% design drawings, FDP, and USACE permit applications by Stantec Inc. I'll pass it to Mr. LeCarry for introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As per our workshop that we had on for the dredging, Stantec has completed phase 1 services for the city of Port Richey, which involved evaluating selected residential navigable canals, waterways, and a pond west of US 19 in Pasco County. Phase 1 included the hydrographic and barometric surveys, volume analysis, and submerged resources survey, geotechnical investigations, regulatory agency pre-application meetings with FDEP and the USACE, and a feasibility memo with dredging recommendations and proposed next steps. Phase 2, as proposed, will focus on advancing the project by preparing 60% drawings, submitting FDEP and USACE permit applications, and responding to agency requests for additional information. The scope also includes further hydrographic and seagrass surveys for additional dredge areas designated by the City Council at our June 18th dredging workshop. In the future, Phase 3 services may include final design documents, bidding assistance, contractor procurement, and construction inspection. The details and scope of Phase 3 will be discussed with the city following the completion of Phase 2. So basically, with the changes that we discussed at the dredging workshop on June 18th, looking for a motion to approve the Phase 2 scope of services from Stantec for $149,610.
And just to provide some additional information, obviously we were at about 105 something, and then there was some additional places they looked into, and that's what's driving it up to another 50 basically. And those are in those photos. Looks like page 72, coming off Harbor Point. That additional, I guess the red hatching, right? Mm-hmm. That's the addition that they're going to do studies on.
Yeah.
And then basically the next page on 73, that would be the red hatching there to the west of Waterfront Park, as well as along the business district down there, down to the ramp area, all that additional area. And I think that's all the additions, right?
Councilman Hubbard did send he did send a map, which is included in this packet. I've conferred with Matthew Starr, and this pretty much covers all the scope that he indicated on his map. Is Matthew with us tonight? No, he's not on. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I guess this is the map here that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So the in front of Waterfront Park,
and covers all his areas that he was highlighting. So.
Hey, Bob, could you talk a little bit about these additional areas? I get the one there by Harbor Point, and I also get the one there in front of the business district, but I'm not sure about the Waterfront Park right there to the west of that.
Well, the Harbor Point area, I went out there before I left, and I was concerned about some rocks, but with the drawing that they have, and I'm sure they checked that out. The channel there is very wide. It's deep all the way up through there. So what they have drawn will initially work. After I went out and looked at it, I thought they were going to go all the way to the channel, which was a lot farther than the west side of that channel, where it was just around that dock. You'd be in. So anyway, that will work. We just need to put posts there when it's done, which is not a big deal. I'll get with operations director, and we can get that done once dredged. As far as the area in front of,
I need to understand.
So are you saying that we don't need the additional red hatching that is in there?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. So
No,
we can pull that out. That's what I was thinking too.
All I submitted was the part in front of Whiskey Joe's and Harbor or Waterfront Park.
Okay.
Because I went out and looked at that, and I feel, they discovered something else. I think it's fine because the channel's very wide and it's deep all the way up to that point where they had their line.
Okay.
And you just have to post it so the people that live there know where the channel is, because there's rocks on either side of
Sure.
it. So, especially
I appreciate you going out and kind of looking at that area, because I was wondering if there was anything that needed to be done between there and the channel. That was a good call out. So based on your analysis, we can eliminate that portion, correct?
It would be fine. Yes, even
Okay.
at low tide, I think for the vessels that get in there, there's plenty of clearance. Initially, I thought it would be better to run it all the way from the west side out around that dock, but with the width of the channel and how deep it is in there, that probably would be more efficient. And I think once we mark it, I think the owners would be happy and satisfactory with the dredging there.
Okay.
As far as Whiskey Joe's, that's a pile of sand that's been piled up all around where the casino boat went in and out all the time, and people run aground there at low tide all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a concern, that little area there. The rest of it is kind of maintained by traffic. It's kind of shallow in there, but unless we do something drastic with big boats, I don't think there's any need to do any more dredging except for that in that area. Waterfront Park.
I need to be clear about what that area means. Does it mean the whole thing?
So if you look at the very southern part, as you get close to Whiskey Joe's,
right?
Like the first from the bottom, the first three hatches,
right?
And I agree. There is a very low spot there that
Sure.
Probably would be good to be addressed.
Can you bring up my screen?
But you're saying
Yeah,
all the
you-
other
yeah, you can
spots
share,
in front,
Bob.
all the other spots over there in front of where the shrimp boats are, that doesn't need to be dredged off?
So what he's saying is that's okay. Obviously so you got to hug along that shoreline.
You do.
That's and like I said, the shrimp boats and stuff go out there, so that stays pretty much deep because there's a lot of traffic going through there. So I don't know that we necessarily have to do anything there because they've actually got extended out. I mean, normally you wouldn't go across that area; you would come down and then go out to kind of in the center of that.
You have to share a screen now.
Go ahead. Can you share your screen, Bob?
Yeah, let me click on share and I'll bring up. So I have a circle in yellow.
Oh, you just sharing your map? I could probably do that for you if you want.
Yeah, I have the areas that are concerned
Here,
that I
if
sent
you want, I
over
can share
to-
that. I got it in the packet. Let me share it.
Okay, yeah, it's a small area, but it's you can stand there at low tide. It's really bad.
All right, I'm sharing. Yeah, so you're talking about this little yellow circle here,
Yep.
which is, like I said, those first 3 red hatches that they had in there, and then above that is along where the, as long as you
Yeah,
hook
there's-
this, you're good.
I was going to ask Matthew if he was here. I don't know how wide this channel is going to be up there coming out of Miller's Bayou.
You're almost at the first 4 hatches there. If you're going to hit what a white boat is there on the right, the top of that there, you'd have to get into 4 hatches to really reach that, not 3.
Let's see.
I don't know what you're looking at there.
I'm looking at the map on page 73.
Here, I'm going back to the Bob.
That's a city dock, isn't it? Not a boat.
Yeah, well, that's
To capture that thing Bob was talking about, you almost have to capture the
the majority of it's kind of in the first 3, but yeah, I guess it goes a little bit past the third hatch. There's a little inlet there by Whiskey Joe's, but that third hatch would capture all that. So I don't know if you need to go any further really.
No,
That's
it's deep. It's pretty deep up through there, and it's not really.
Yeah, because the casino boat sits there, or what it used to anyway.
And it's not going to be any real traffic in there that I know of. But even if there is, there's the water's not bad up in through there. It's actually shallow in front of our dock at the city dock in front of Nick's, but it's deep enough for boats to get in and out of there. So with traffic, it'll maintain as long as the casino boat's not back in there. We wouldn't have any problem with it, I don't believe. But that's a pile of sand in front of Whiskey Joe's, and it's very, very shallow. People run aground every day in there.
So Bob, if we were just to add this, can you see my screen?
Hang on a minute. Yes, I see it.
Okay, so if we was just to do this first 3 hashes right there.
Actually, you can see right where Billy's house is and the dock of Whiskey Joe's. Go straight out there. Move your marker straight left. No, come down a little bit. Right. Just to the left a little bit. Go to the left. Go west. Right there, and go down just in front of Whiskey Joe's. Right there, that's good. Yep, that's it. A little bit right there. That's it. You can see it. You can see where it's shallow right there. It's like an egg shape.
Yeah.
That's it.
So are you saying that we just need to have them do that area, not all this to the?
Right. This is something I initially drew up, was all of this area. And he said that's a lot of lines, it's a lot of money. So I said, no need to do all that then. This is a very concerning area right here in front of Whiskey Joe's. These areas, the shrimp boats get in and out of there all the time. As long as the people from Millard Bayou can get to that, they'll be fine as well. Now, if you guys want to make this channel wide, down there in front of Hooters and that area there, that would be good. But, one more line, I just don't see a need to dredge it all out.
I think as long as we have a viable path along here like we have,
I agree.
and if we're going to have them come out and just do this line here, I mean this whole sandbar area right here probably wouldn't hurt to go ahead and, given all the traffic that's coming in there with the marina and whatnot, like I said, if you mark it well, to make sure you keep people, to the west of that area, you're probably good.
It's still 2 vessels wide at least, right, Bob?
Where at?
Well, if they take out that sandbar in front of Whiskey Joe's or dredge right there, it's still, with that done, it's going to still be wide enough for 2 vessels to pass opposite directions, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
We probably just need to make sure that this is marked, that don't go any further east.
Well, it kind of denies Whiskey Joe's boat traffic. Kind of. They have to go all the way around that when the tide's down. And then
Oh yeah, because they got docks right here, don't they? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
They have a lot. Yeah, they got a lot of docks.
Yes, yeah.
Getting into there anyway.
So the only way they could get in is they'd have to pass all that, then come back into it, right?
They'd have to come down by Port Richey Marina or go over by up by the boat ramp.
I mean, we could do that whole area right there. I mean,
This,
this is our waterfront.
It's just sand, and I'm telling you, all that is sand too.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no shells, no rocks,
Yeah.
nothing. Just sand.
I think we probably just include that, like I said, the first 3 hatches there to kind of clear all that sandbar.
Right. You can see
Potentially.
it. Just break that down, and then you're going to, as the city builds, you got more boat traffic. That won't be an issue because
Yeah.
if you don't, it will be an issue.
Yeah. And this along here, that could be a little wider.
Just as wide as they can make it would be great if they wanted to do that. That's not on their chart to do though. They have it coming down and coming in this way. So realistically, if they come out and go north and get in the channel, they can come out that way too. So it's not a big concern for me. I've had my boat up through there many a times
Yeah.
without a lot, and only at low tide. But if they dredge this out, even at low tide, any boats through there will still be able to get out.
Mm-hmm. And so the other area is just in front of Waterfront Park. Obviously, no traffic there now. I guess that was your idea for docks, maybe possibly in the future. Which
Possibly, and all we really need to do there is the channel, the Millard Bayou to make it 3 channels wide. This is 200 feet up from, if you want to put a dock from where Cancun Beach is up towards Waterfront Park, it'd be nice to have that deep if someone wants to put docks over there in the future.
did we not? I thought we had restrictions on docks going in there.
I'm talking about state waters. I'm not talking about anything near Waterfront Park.
Oh,
You got restrictions on this channel between Waterfront Park and the district too. That's a storm drain, and in the FTC, it strictly forbids any dredging in that channel in that storm drain. That's strictly for storm drain, and they don't want any dredging in there at all. So you go to pull a permit, that'll probably get denied. However, it is a storm drain. It does need to be cleaned. It is shallower on the west end of that than the east end, so the water flow is not proper, especially at low tide, and I think it should be cleaned out just a couple feet, and that way you can still get boats up in there. And if you want to put a bridge over it, you're not going to get big boats in there anyway.
So this area here is your biggest concern, correct? Is it
Yeah,
coming out of there?
yeah, yep. And if you make it just a little bit wider there, north of,
I would agree with that.
Well,
and I'm talking 400 feet, 200-foot channels just to make that little bit wider there coming out of Miller's
I've run
Bayou.
around going through there pretty easily.
you have to make sure you're on course for sure.
Low tide will wake you up real quick.
Well, so and they haven't even addressed that in this. Did they address that in the original? I'm thinking they probably did. Wasn't that on the original scope?
They addressed Miller's Bayou, and they had a line coming down, and right at the it comes right into the channel there, just a little west of the shrimp boats.
Do we have the original scope in here?
Yeah, I put on both. You're talking about the first one for the
What the for the that they already have done?
Oh, no, I don't have that in this packet.
What meeting was that on?
Our workshop was the 18th of June.
18th of June?
I'm trying to get Matthew Starr on. Has he?
He hasn't replied, no.
Okay.
Why does our calendar not go backwards? How do you get to the EC? It's under past agendas. There you go. What was the date again?
June 18th.
June 18th.
That sounds it.
City Council. No June out here. Hold on.
Can we not just have the city manager add if we didn't get on the first one through there?
Well, I just want to see what they, I mean, yeah, but I want to see what we actually,
Just widen that up a little bit, maybe twice as wide as what it shows in the black.
well, they may have already studied that enough. I can see
They know what's in there.
yeah, so they've already done the work that they need to do there.
Yeah, but is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, right here, that's it, spot right there. That's all mapped now.
Okay, good.
So the only thing additional would be this right down here by Whiskey Joe's, those
Yeah.
initial three. We're good over at Harbor
Price
Point,
tag down substantially.
and we're good over here. So we just need that little bit there by Whiskey Joe's added. So it'd be 105 plus whatever that little piece is.
All right, so we got to modify. He's got to modify that quote. I know we had an issue with time constraint, but I will talk to him first thing tomorrow morning and see what our timeline looks like. See if I can.
Matthew has all this information. Sal sent it to him, right, Sal?
Yes.
Yep. So he's aware of all the Whiskey Joe's area and Waterfront Park area.
So we are not doing anything in front of Waterfront Park?
Yeah, he's aware of it. He's got that information.
I'm
Matthew
saying one
does.
thing, we're saying another.
Bob, so do we need to do that by Waterfront Park? I'm thinking not, right? As long as you got that channel going between Miller's Bayou and the river, we're good, right?
Well, like I said, if somebody wants to put docks along there, then you have to do this whole process just for that area, or you wouldn't be able to do it in the future.
When we say somebody, I mean, nobody would be doing that other than us or the state or somebody, right?
I don't know who might want to do it, but we may want to put city docks up there. Who knows? In the future, maybe 5 years from now.
Well,
I just don't know. Like I said, there's two 200-foot runs.
yeah.
Same with as the channel that comes through there.
Do you think that at that point, if we were thinking about doing that we could always commission them to go out and do the study at that point in time and take care of it then, as opposed to getting it now? Or
Well, I don't know. I think Matthew Starr needs to have all this information in order to declare everything. But no, that's up to you guys. I'm just presenting what I think we should do now while we're doing it. Get it done while we're doing it, because it's not that much more cost to do this right now than it would be later in the future. I don't want to kick ourselves in the butt down the road saying, man, we only would have done that. That would have been nice.
Well, so we're at 100, and this takes to 150, so it's a 50% increase.
So those two channels cost $50,000 to what? Study or a permit or what?
Well, so they have to do the same thing that they did that we paid $400 and some $1,000 for the whole area. That 50,000 is covering those additional areas to get them up to the same level, and then moving forward.
So it's probably
Okay.
20, and then 10 for Harbor. So those are probably $20,000. increments there. In front of.
Yeah, we're not doing Harbor Point,
Yeah, right.
and
so
we're
it
not
drops
doing
off
all that
about 10.
area.
Yeah, if you look
All
at
that
this
area
area,
that he had marked on the west side of Waterfront Park, we're not doing that either, and we're not
I mean,
doing that whole
I'm not
area.
against cleaning up in front of Waterfront Park there, just because it is sandy and during low tides it's real shallow, you know. And to study it now is $20,000. What's it going to cost to study it later?
I mean, when we go to get the dredging done in a year or so, whenever that happens, we talk to the dredgers, can you just make that wide for us and see what happens if you want to do that? But I don't think, that's not $50,000 for those 2 runs in front of Waterfront Park.
No, it's not. It's
That's
40.
probably 10,000 maybe at the most.
It's 50 for the whole thing. We
Because
dropped
they've studied that already. I mean, it's all the same. All that area there is just sand and small rocks.
I mean, the way I think about it is obviously we need to take care of the around the residential and all that we have now who utilize the waterways. There's nothing right now going on by Waterfront Park, and obviously once we move forward, we've got to actually spend the money to do the work to dredge those out. So to me, that's a nice to have.
It's just the testing and having it in place right now and being able to extend that testing.
Well, I don't even know that as far down the road that would be in a project. If we did anything, that it would even be viable.
I feel like living on Miller's Bayou for over 10 years, that's a dumping zone for sand. It comes right down the river and it blows up in there and it just goes like this. And coming through there it's tight. It's really tight through there. And you got to hug that whole wall where the shrimp boats are, you know.
Well, you're still going to have to do that though. The only thing that with the Waterfront Park is you get closer to Waterfront Park.
Right. Which we've got some thoughts and dreams about what we're going to do at Waterfront Park too. What about people rolling in there and throwing their anchor out, listening to, you know, some music, whatever, you know, that kind of thing. Or it's not.
I mean, we
That's
could study.
a staging area for parades too. A lot of boats sit in there for
I think
all the parades.
I'm okay with spending the money on getting the seagrass study there, so at least we know what's going on.
Did Sal talk to Matthew about that? Just the cost on those?
So, the cost on what specifically, Bob?
What I sent you, the two lines at Waterfront Park in that little area.
Yeah, I talked to him about that. He said that was already incorporated in his updated
Okay,
scope.
well, that's already done then. Okay.
But I mean, if we're taking the section of Harbor Point out, which was included in his scope, then it's going to be less than the proposal he has now.
We decided that the increase was 50,000 for what we're looking at here in red, right? So if you break down the space between what's in front of the boat ramp and what's in front of Waterfront Park and Harbor Point, you're easily 50,000 for each one of these sections here in front of the boat ramp in front of Harbor Point. I'm sorry, 20,000 for each, and then 10 for Harbor Point. Harbor Point's a much smaller piece.
I mean, to be honest with you, you see that if you look at the middle where the canal goes along the backside of Guild Dogs there, that would be better served to survey than alongside Waterfront Park, probably.
Well, that all depends whether you live in Miller Bayou or not.
But we'll get another by you're going to be coming out. That is your track coming out.
I know.
I mean, you've also got that big sand mound there to the west that you see too.
I agree.
So again, you're providing a path for the boats to go in and out of there. You're going to have shallow areas. I mean, you're not going to abate all the shallow areas
What do you
around.
want to do? Just can the whole thing, not do anything?
Well, no, I'm
3 hash marks?
we can spend full 150 and do what's on here.
See, I wouldn't spend
Can
all
you
that.
bring up my screen?
The same one.
Yeah. Well,
I think I want to spend 20 and clean out in front of whatever.
We can do that
That's what I think.
if that's what it is. I mean,
I think it's 20. That's
probably roughly. This one here. Okay. 1 sec, Bob. Okay, I've got it up.
Is that Bob's drawing?
This Bob's drawing it.
Can you see it?
You got two red lines?
Yep, I just got two red lines next to the Miller's Bayou, and then I've got the little yellow part there, and that's it. This is not a big concern, but I agree. If we just have the dredgers just, well, they're going to come down here, they're going to come across here. If they want to make that as wide as possible, it would be great. I mean, it's all sand. It's not a big deal. They may feel the same thing about this. They got the main channel from Miller's Bayou comes right through here. All they're doing is making it wider. And if that's possible, that'd be great. That's it. I don't see where that's $50,000 at all. As a matter of fact, I was with Matthew was here.
Well, because they're not. This is not your red lines there. What is what's translated to their diagram is basically all this area around that, basically that entire low-lying area. It's not. I mean, if you're just talking about widening up here by the point, coming down here, that's already been studied. They can probably get that in what they've already
The
done.
picture that they show here, and I'm not looking at the screen, I'm talking what's on my screen here, shows sand all through there.
Yeah, there is.
So
And
the,
he's
the,
even
the point
talking
I,
about
See that?
about
See that?
sandbar.
They
That's
went.
all sandy.
Yep,
Yeah.
he mentioned all of that is sand.
right, and I was just concerned if this is how wide this channel coming out Miller's Bayou is going to be. If it's 20 foot, then we might want to do this. If it's 50 or 60 feet wide, then we may just need to just make one line, make it a little bit wider. But I don't know how wide he's considering these channels to be, and I know he can't tell us exactly, but I'm assuming that they're probably going to be around 40 feet.
Well, this
They
looks
could
like
be
to me
20. I don't
that
know.
we would be potentially digging out the entire west side bank of
That's
Waterfront
just
Park, which is
sand.
not.
No,
really
you're not.
Just
No.
sand that's dumped there from coming down,
This-
from coming down.
This is all Waterfront Park. All this out here. This is it here. So you got the
Remember,
state
that's our
line right
waterfront
here.
park we're talking about.
I'm just talking about this area
Park's
right
on land.
here.
No.
Hold on, one
Waterfront
person at a time.
Park.
For the record, one person at a time.
Oh, it's Bob. Go ahead, Bob. I'm sorry. I didn't hear.
Bert's gonna throw something at one of you pretty soon.
Ashley hasn't asked me one time to turn my microphone on yet. I'm a little worried about Ashley.
Go ahead, Bob.
No, it's just an extra lane next to what they're dredging, depending on how wide that channel's going to be. I didn't get any specifics or any even.
Do you see the black area? That's
Yeah,
outlined?
this here.
You see my screen?
Well, their line comes here and then there.
So the black outline is what they've already studied.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, and so you had red lines about where it says varies on down in here. If I roll back to yours, you have two red lines.
Right.
Let me just here. I'll draw them on there.
Well, it's
You had something about like this.
the red line under varies is where it is. It's not varies. It's below the red line. It's not even all the way over. Did you put up my screen? Because this isn't what
Yes,
I
it's
proposed.
here it is.
Yeah, that's not what
Right
I
there.
proposed. Yeah.
Right there, about halfway up Waterfront Park down to the point, which is what I recreated pretty much on top of their map. Right there.
That's a little bit longer what I had. It's below the varies, but yeah. And I don't know how wide the channel's going to be. That was what I wanted.
Okay, well, the
to find
channel
out
is here where the
tonight.
black area is.
Right.
Could we just
That's
say,
not an exact. Is that how wide is that?
Well, I don't know. Is
Huh?
there scale
You
on
know?
here? Yeah.
Oh.
1 inch is 300 foot. So I don't know if I have a tool on here. I don't have a.
Sal, are we able to renew these seagrass studies over and over and over again as long as we renew them? In other words, they don't expire as long as you keep renewing, right?
Well, they have a certain timeline where you have to until you have to do a new study. I think that was what his concern was last time, is getting this done before the current seagrass study expires. So, like I said, I've been trying to text him and see if I can get him on this call so he can clarify a couple things. But yeah, The most important part is that just remember it doesn't hurt to try and do as much areas as you want. It all depends on what we plan on dredging in, actually removing later on. So I would consider covering as much bases as we can. If we're 100% on Harbor Point, that's fine. But here, if we're just talking about,
$20,000 more, right?
To me, when you're talking about a multi-million-dollar project, $20,000 is not a lot of money.
And for me, this waterfront park shouldn't be 6 inches of water. It should be waterfront park. Like, you got.
Well, you have a good point when you brought that up, because let's say you want to have events and similar to like Hooters and everyone else, where people can pull up their boats and come
throw out their anchor.
And we put out a dock out there and do a elongated dock along waterfront.
Hitting the water and breaking their neck.
Right. So there are the future can hold many different things, and you guys can have different projects that you want to do. But
I'm a 20 grand invested. Let's get the seagrass study done right there, so we or somebody in the future can make a decision what to do there with that information.
Well, it's not just
What about
seagrass. It's
doing the west side of the red line all the way down, and then leaving the east side of the red line all the way down? That would broaden the channel quite a bit. My concern is spending the money over here by Waterfront Park on the east side of the red line when all of those regulations around that park, we don't truly know what we can and can't do yet. I don't believe that that's ever been finalized, that report's ever been finalized. And I'm not sure that we can actually be building docks. And
Like Bob said, once you get into the water, it's no longer the park's decision; it's state's.
Well, you got,
no, that's
you
not
don't,
the,
the east,
that's not the case. That park is so highly restricted, and it has so many different restrictors on it.
We've had a pier there in the past.
I was
know that
staying
there has
away
been
from
a
the
pier,
east
but
side of the
one
red
second,
line.
Bob. One second, Bob.
since the pier is gone, I don't know that we have the ability to put the pier back. Had we maintained the pier the entire time, from the way I read it, then we had the right to keep the pier. But since we let the pier go, I think we might have a problem
And having-
there as far as building it again. And until we know that kind of stuff, I'd just say that it's not a reasonable idea to spend all this money right along the park side, because the way I read all of those restrictions, I don't see that we have a lot of leeway to build there. Whereas if we take the money and cut it in half, possibly by doing the west side of the red line, you have a broad channel all the way through that area. If we wind up dredging it, which I'd say, why do it if we aren't going to dredge it? But look at all of that sand that clears out and how wide that is.
I'm thinking of kids with fishing rods out on the bank there, throwing their rod out there and dragging it through 6 inches of stuff. You know what I mean? Versus having some water out there where they can actually fish. I mean, right now we're going to spend 10 or 20. What's the next $10,000 on a multi-million dollar
I'm not even
project?
sure we can dredge it.
You got vegetation all along that bank, so you
Yeah.
got a couple openings there that you could probably have somebody go down there and
I've
fish. or
driven my
whatever.
boat over the property many times. I've never seen vegetation. I've hit plenty of oyster beds. And
I'm talking about in a park,
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the red spots.
right? But you're talking about kids fishing off the bank, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they're not going to be fishing across those vegetation areas. There's a couple of openings there. Outside of that, there's no real access over there. And again, having a pier there is different from digging it all out, too.
What do you want to do, Eric?
It's not up to me. I'm just
So
saying.
you say it's not up to you. I just told you what I want to do, and you're shooting me down. So I'm asking you, what do you want to do?
I don't think we need to mess with any of that. I'm not opposed if you want to widen it up like Christina's saying, to widen that up there and maybe do the west side of that center red line coming down there if you want to have them come out, because they're going to be out studying something anyway. But to do all that, I don't know if we're ever going to do anything with that.
I don't know that we can do anything with it. We could get the studies done and then find out that we really can't do anything. It's very heavily restricted.
It is
Very
restricted,
convoluted as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
and I would stay away from the east side of the main red line, vertical line.
Right.
That's all.
Saying, yeah,
But
just
if you
do
come to the
side.
west side of that line, I would go up, like I said, a couple 100 feet
Mhm.
and make that Miller's Bayou channel just wider. That's all. If you can make it 100, 150 foot or 100 foot wide or 80 foot wide,
So
you got a big plus, something you got to work with then.
How about we do what Christine says? We take the west side of that red line and dredge and not or check.
No,
We
that's-
scan that.
That's going to
We
be,
do that?
there's going to be a
Okay.
lot of money to do that.
At least, I would say at least up to the Varies section or the section right above that, which would dump
Where it
you out
opens up.
into Miller's Bayou nicely with a wide opening in the Miller's Bayou. If you do all the way up to the one right above Varies.
Now, I will add this too, because Matt said that where they've studied along the black lines here, they probably have a little more than that from a width perspective.
Mm-hmm.
We may not have to do anything. They may be able to expand that based on the data they already have from going through there.
I'm just
Yeah,
thinking
they
it
went
might
all
last
through.
longer overall if we wind up dredging that rather than it getting narrow again over time. If you go broad, it'll probably last longer. And I'd just say go broad right there.
Yeah.
It is really narrow right there.
I'm cool with that.
And
West of the red line. Let's ride.
I can't imagine that when they did that study along through there, that isn't wide enough
Are
to
you
accommodate.
okay with west of the red line?
I don't know. I don't think we do that. I think what they've got in here that they've studied, I think we just use the data that they've had. We really need Matt to let us know on that. Because like I said, he said that they bled over.
But if we agree today, we agreed, then they can talk to Matt. So right now we can't get Matt on the phone.
He's out of country, so
So there.
he's been trying to zoom in, but he's out of country. I don't think he's getting.
Well, here's what we tell him to do. I think is make sure and give us an actual number. What's the width of this channel area there? I mean,
That's my question too. How wide is it? Because
Yeah.
we don't need a 100-foot wide channel.
no, exactly.
Right, so you want to know the width of the existing black channel there.
Right, exactly. What does he study for in here? And if in his study numbers, if he has a little more width on both sides, because he said he had.
Obviously,
Extra.
yeah, you can see that.
I don't think you need to go over to the red line. I mean, that's huge.
No.
Not necessarily.
I can tell you, a 1 inch on this map is 300 foot. From the black line to the red line, it's probably 1.5 inches, 2 inches.
Keep in mind,
It's like a 600 foot swash.
Miller's Bayou encompasses 90% of the waterfront we have in the city of Port Richey.
Well, I'm just wondering how long until that sediment comes back. So if we went very wide through there, as the sediment returns, we're not in the same position as soon. So since we have the permit, go a little bit wider.
Well, and this is the point I want to try and make. Keep in mind, this is just the permit to perform your surveys. This has nothing to do with how wide you want to make anything.
Right.
This is just covering your bases. You may go to construction and just do within the black, and then be like, well, hold on, that's not wide enough. We've navigated it. We've done it. We want to make it wider. If you go back to try and make it wider and you don't have it in the permit, you cannot do it.
Yeah.
So this is why we're talking about how wide we want it and deep, and we got to take that part of the equation out right now. Right now, we just want to focus how much of this area do we want to study and have that locked into the permit. You may not even do it at all, but at least you have it on the permit. And you still have that. You could decide not to have it in the permit, but that's why I just want to clarify right now. This has nothing to do with construction. This is just basically covering all the bases that in case today, 5 years from now, because the whole process is to keep renewing this same permit and not having to rebuild it again. So when we all discussed this in our few workshops, we want to cover as many bases as possible.
That information was very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
This does that. This covers all your bases. And like I said, and Councilman Hubbard, I just want to clarify, especially even the Harbor Point area. We went back and forth and we talked about it a couple of times. If you're 100% confident on that, I have no problem telling Matt to leave that out. But once again, this is just about what we want in the permit, what we want to submit for. And if a few years from now, 5 years from now, it seems like, okay, the Harbor Point area is okay right now, but sediment may build in that, we may want to do something. And then if it's not in the permit, we're not doing it. So I just want to make sure council understands where we're at right now.
Based on that, I'd say west of the red line all the way down, because if you look at the sediment or the sandbars all the way down in front of catches, all the way up past the Varies, if we took care of allowing them to survey
Well, they've
west of
already
the-
been in
west
there.
of the red line.
They,
That should cut it
they-
down quite
when they
a bit.
did, when they were in Moonlit Bayou, they did behind my house. They did all over the bayou. They didn't just do where they were dredging. They poked holes all over the place. They did the same thing over there. And if Sal remembers, I was trying to get this place dredged 10 years ago, and we looked. There's been this big concern of mine. When I went out to Harbor View before I left, I went through that whole area with my side view sonar in my boat at medium tide to look to see how would what they drew up and what I was suggesting would work, and what they drew up will work. There's no need to really do anything else in there because what they have is in between rocks, which just need to be marked, and that'll work fine for Harbor View Point. This area is, you don't know what's going to happen in 5 years in this district. And like Sal said, we have the opportunity to get this dredged right. And the wider it is, the longer it'll last also, and the best value you're going to get. I mean, I had drawn up dredging out this whole area down here in front of Hooters and where Gill Dogs was, and that's just a little bit too much money. So I went through there also. I came through there. I've been through my boat many times, and what they're suggesting to do there will work fine also for traffic in the future. But if we want to put a walkway, you want to do any docks, or you want to have parades or anything, Miller's Bayou is where everybody hangs out, where everybody pulls in and out on the parades. And if you just make that channel wider, like you were talking, where the line is at Miller's Bayou, just maybe 80 foot, 90 foot wide, just down to where the ditch is there at Waterfront Park by Gill Dogs, you're going to have a whole lot of area that you'll be able to work with, and you won't have any problem. People run around in there all the time now, and as it grows, you're going to have just a bigger problem, and you're going to wish you'd done it. I'm just telling you, in 5-6 years, you're going to wish you had dredged that out, I think. You don't need to be near Waterfront Park, though. Stay away from Waterfront Park, because Christine's right. It's heavily secured. You can't get in there to dredge right up by Waterfront Park. You got to stay on the west side of the red line. But I would come down to where the ditch is, and I would just stay under the Varys part. I don't think you need to go north of the Varys part.
So Bob, to be clear, you're okay with dredging everything on the west side of the red line in front of Waterfront Park, yes or no?
Yes.
I am too. You're okay with that?
Yes.
That's three of us.
Spend money.
Yep, we are.
Spend money.
We just spent it. We outvoted you.
I think we should do that. I mean,
I think you make a blind decision, like I
I
said.
don't think it's blind at all. I don't
no,
know.
don't either.
What, how wide is that channel? And how wide does it need to be?
Stop. We just had three of us say that we wanted
We're
to do
gonna have budget workshops. We're gonna lose $300,000 potentially this year,
It's not
$500,000 next
hold on.
year. Keep
This
that in
is
mind.
not $300,000. This is.
You're missing my point. Keep in mind that we're getting ready to go through budget
Did
cycle.
you just hear what Sal said, sir?
Could you listen to me?
Yeah.
Okay. So we know if the amendment passes in November, we're taking a $300,000 hit to our budget, year one, $500,000 year two. Okay. That's without anything else on place. That's just the reality of it. Okay. CRA's winding down. So there's it's easy to talk about. It's just another 50,000 now.
It's not 50,000. We just
It-
cut it. We just cut
not-
that down.
well, 25,000,
dramatically. We're not
30,000.
going all
It's
the
not
way
even
down
that.
in front of the.
10.
Yeah, we're talking
Okay.
about just.
If
Come at 10.
if it's a need, we should spend it.
There's a
I'm
need
with you.
there. That's
I
very.
don't know if I agree with that, but and again, I don't have the expert here to ask the question. I don't know what the width is here. I know that 1 inch is 300 feet, and that's probably 100 foot. A 100-foot wide channel is not big enough. That we need another 300 foot on side of it. So if we have 500-foot channel there,
waterfront
it's
park.
overkill.
Imagine being
That's-
down in DC looking out on the water
And-
about 25 or 30 feet out, you got 6 inches of water. This is not it's supposed to be deeper than that.
Understand, and keep in mind, you're looking at one isolated area along the park where there's no houses. We've got an entire city that we've got an entire city that after this is done and permitted, you have to dig out.
The seagrass study, Eric.
This is not seagrass study. This is a topography and the whole thing. It's seagrass.
Will you show me what it is you think we're talking about so I can see why you're so upset?
I'm not upset. I want you to make an informed decision.
I am making an informed decision. Everything on the west side, I want to do a seagrass study on. West side of the
Yeah,
red
we
line.
just cut this project down from all of
Substantial.
this red to that, and a small section
At the bottom, we cut
at the
everything
bottom.
else out. Except
So
these
we
two little
just
things
saved
here.
a lot of money of that $50,000, and now
Probably
we're
about $15,000 out of 50 right now.
yeah. So I don't.
And I don't want to get all bent out of shape with you on this, but that's $15,000 of us being responsible to clean up the muck that's been going down there forever.
I think there's other places that are better served for that.
And there always is until it comes to election cycle and people want to know what are you doing about my canals. Okay?
But there ain't nobody voting right along the edge here. I can tell you that.
Well, I can tell you what, I've run my boat amok there quite a few times.
And again, what you're missing the point is they're taking care of all that already.
But that's not what I'm talking about. When you go right along those boats there next to the shrimp.
If you think that we spent $500,000 to map out the canals, and they went out here and they intentionally didn't make them wide enough, I think that's probably.
Eric, if you're telling me,
Can we make a motion? I'm ready to make a motion.
I make a motion that we get seagrass study on everything on the west side of the red
In
line.
that yellow
It's not a
circle.
seagrass study. The seagrass study's passed.
What is it, Sal? You just got
It had to be done by September.
The specifics for phase 2 is to, hold on. Give me one moment. Phase 2, this basically includes 60% of design drawings, FDP and USA CE permits, applications and responses to agency, and additional information. Also, the additional monies was to add all the areas that he had highlighted. So that's what made that $50,000 difference. Now, taking out Harbor Point and reducing this is probably going to drop it dramatically, but I don't know what that's going to be. So
we need
regardless,
to,
I think
to take it back.
we need to take it back to him to get you guys a hard number
Right.
and
so-
decide from there. But before I do that, I do want positive direction, or at least majority direction, on what areas are we talking
Well,
about.
since we have to take it back to him anyway,
Okay.
can we not get some clarification on what exactly this is, and so we can, I'm not opposed to doing that if we need to do it. I can't make that decision because I'm not an expert on what this is telling me.
I'd just like to make a
Listen,
consensus.
we just
that
had three of us say that we
get-
want to do this, and there's three of us that say we want to do it. You want to outrule three of us? You can do that if you want.
Well,
to.
if 3 people want to jump off a cliff, I'm not going to follow
We're
you.
not jumping off a cliff, sir.
Everything. She called the question.
Yeah,
the
so I'd like
clarification, the
to
motion.
consensus or a consensus that we take it back for that yellow circled area, the area beneath where Bob pointed out, the section over by Harbor Point, and come back with a price for what that is. And that's how I'd like to move forward.
Well, and I like the yellow area, but I think that if we keep it from the berries
Anyway,
in south,
send that to me.
you're going to save a lot of money.
Yeah. I'll do it a little bit better. I'll get you an answer.
Explain how you'd like to reduce that area, Bob.
I
About
agree
half
with you, Bob. Yeah, from Varies down.
from the berries to the
Okay.
south is what I was concerned about. It's
Okay.
it's still shallow to the north, but you don't have this much traffic up there. I don't think you're going to have
I
something
live
we
over
can
there.
worry about later.
I live
Right.
over there, Bob, and I'm going to tell you that all through there is shallow. If you're going to dredge it up to Varies and all of a sudden you're going to hit a brick wall, that's not going to be good for anybody.
Well,
So-
I agree with you. I agree
Let's-
100%.
I think
But
we need to. I'm still. There's a motion on the table.
That, Bob? They're not
All
emotional.
right, Sal. Sal, can you ask him about that? If we do it here or if we do the whole thing, the west side of the line, find out what the cost difference is.
Okay, so basically where we have this outlined in yellow, find out what that's going to be as compared to going all the way up on the west side.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
get the
Correct.
two prices.
Yes.
Right.
The additional pricing is.
And then dropping the Harbor Point area.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then we're still keeping the
The
southern.
blue, the blue
Right,
stripes, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But just that little area. Yeah, they know where it is. They
That's
got
right.
it mapped out. Yeah, they got it mapped out. You can see it. Yep.
So is there,
I'll take this map and I'll give it to you afterwards.
That's fine.
so is there a consensus for that, or do we need to have a motion? If
That-
there's still,
I'm okay with
if there's-
consensus. I'm okay with
So if
consensus.
you have a consensus, that's good, but if there's still a,
I'm consensus is fine.
I just didn't want to get stuck on stupid and not move
I
forward.
don't,
You
yeah,
know?
we've got a lot to do tonight.
I'll schedule the break to try and get this back on the next agenda.
Thank you.
Something else? No, yeah, any public comment? Sure. Yeah. You're a boater, so.
It might open the conversation right back up again.
No,
Done now.
no. I was gonna give my opinion. Patrick Nowinski, 4800 Eptide Lane. Yeah, I like hearing about it. It sounds really good and stuff. But I mean, I know Mr. Hubbard spent a lot of time driving out here, you know, riding on his boat and inspecting it. And I've been up and down the channels. Obviously, you know, I got a boat business, and you know, I have a lot of customers. I go up and down the channel as well, and I hear all these things. And over the years, probably the last 15 years, I've been down in the Miller's Bayou in there, you know, doing my water tests when I used to build motors and stuff. And personally, I mean, I know he has a preference about the park. Me, I don't think it's important. I think it's more important where the businesses are, to kind of dredge out right through there, because this town's growing. I mean, I don't think, have you guys reached out to like some of the marina owners? You know, they're adding more spaces, you know, like American Marina's probably going to have another 150 spaces, so there's more boat traffic right there that's going to be coming down. Sunset's going to be growing, adding more spaces. I mean, there's going to be a lot more local traffic coming through just from our local marinas. And then we have Catches, they have their own marina. Like, I think we should like focus in those areas where the restaurants are and all that kind of stuff, and the boat ramp. Police, you know, they have their problem with their boat probably coming down that low tide. I mean, I just kind of, I get it. Like, we want the park to grow and people can park their boats and stuff to watch, you know, whatever goes on, music and stuff like that. But I mean, tax dollars are coming down at the other end right there. So I'd rather see us focus down on that section right there, from Catches up a little bit, than where it's kind of narrow when you make your left to go west up the channel. I mean, there's a narrow spot right there. I mean, I think those are the more important parts. I see that Hubbard had them marked. That's just my opinion. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so close public comment for that one, and we will move along. All right, next up, item number 6, approval of water rates analysis by Stantec Inc. Pass it to Mr. LeCarry for introduction.
For City Council consideration, due to inquiries about the current irrigation rates, City staff has approached Stantec Incorporated to conduct a benchmark analysis of the city's water utility rates by comparing them with those up to 10 similar municipalities. This project's objective is to provide the city with clear, actionable insights into how to service charges compare with those of peer communities. The findings will be presented in a concise and easily shareable format. The total fixed fee for the study is $13,090, with billing based on a percentage of task completion. Long story short, I know we've discussed this in the past about looking at the irrigation rates of our current water study, our water ordinance, and the thing is that I think it'd be best to approach Stantec to provide us a comparison with other municipalities to see if changes need to be made. And that's why I kind of put this together. But I stand by council direction on which way you would like me to go with this.
Okay, open up.
Sal, are we just trying to find out whether we're being competitive with our water rates right now?
Yeah, this is what that would do. Yes.
I mean, one thing that I was a little bit eye-open to is the fact that we charge more for our irrigation than we do for our drinking water.
Yes. When that was created, it's basically when the ordinance was first done and the water study was done. It's basically the irrigation is a hybrid of water and sewer charges. We used to have it where we would just charge at a straight water rate, and the city was losing money. This water rate study was basically done to the best way to prevent someone from overwatering is to affect them in the pocket. It's the first concern that they have. A lot of our irrigation customers were overwatering because the water rates were so dramatically lower. So then this water rate study was done, and then this is where that irrigation rate was created, basically as a conservation tactic as well as a billing aspect. Other places do charge irrigation rates. That's why they were going to do a comparison to show where we fall with everyone else. And like I said, this has just been an ongoing topic that I know council has talked about in the past, and I want to see what direction you want me to go forward with.
I'll give you an example in Harbor Point where I'm at. My average water bill out there to water the grass was $400 a month. And I'm like, I'm not paying that anymore. Just shut it off. Now I got brown spots and stuff, coming out all over the place. But it just seemed so exorbitant. I was like, I don't. It doesn't even encourage people to do it. The average person doesn't want to spend that kind of money to water their lawn. Anyway, I'm not trying to. I don't want us to break the bank. I don't know whether, because we're not using any sewer at all. So if we're undercharging for sewer, that's not coming from that. It's coming from the fact that we're undercharging for sewer. Anyway,
when I originally brought this up, I in a private meeting with city manager, but we just recently had a water rate study done 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, it's not that old actually.
Yeah, so I can't imagine a new one would be that much different. It might, but I don't think it would be too much different. But and the big thing is the irrigation rates. And what I can't reconcile is kind of what Chris says is that for the first 3,000, or I can't remember what the tiers are. I wish I had that information from me, but you actually pay more for irrigation water than you pay for water out of your house with sewer, which doesn't make any sense to me. So I think what we really probably need to do is rather than have a whole study, is just take a look at what we're charging for irrigation compared to what we charge for drinking water, and to shore up those differences in the lower tiers. I think as you use more irrigation water, obviously I think you want to discourage people from using a lot of that, but you shouldn't overcharge them for the first few thousand gallons to water. And I think that's really what it boils down to. I don't think we need a massive rate overhaul. I just think we need to adjust that first level or two of irrigation.
Is the reason for this study because we plan to raise rates? If it comes back that our neighboring cities or comparable cities are charging more than we would raise rates for the residents in it?
Rates are lower. I mean,
Currently our ordinance allows us a 3% increase on water and a 4% increase on sewer every year. Mm-hmm. This would just show us overall where we fall with 10 other municipalities. An analysis like this basically just tells us as a city that, okay, this is where we are. This is, our rates are comparable with other entities. There's really no need to move forward. If it comes in dramatically high, then we can consider, not increasing the rates or doing a percentage decrease. But if we just want to look at changing the irrigation rates on our own without a study or whatnot, that's council's purview, can do that. We would have to basically open that ordinance up and decide what we're actually changing, and then that way we can just do 2 new readings and pass that ordinance, that updated ordinance.
Did the report from the last time we had this done, did it list the cities that?
Yes.
Is there not a way that we can call them and just get their updated rates? 10 cities calling. I mean, I'm so
$13,000.
I'm so frugal. I would be like picking up the phone and doing that one afternoon
Christine,
and finding out how to, what their rates are currently. Is there a reason why we have to spend $13,000 to get a actual report versus updating ourselves?
Optically, it's you're having it done by a firm that basically does this for a living, as opposed to just imposing staff to pick up a phone and make phone calls to municipalities and get their water rates.
And nobody believes staff.
I know. I'm just.
that's the point, though.
I'm just saying optically, it's just
are our rates published?
We have them. Well, we have them by ordinance and stuff. They are. I don't know if they're published on the website, but we have access to
Christine's mind is
No. So if they're published, why can't we go to each of those cities and find
if
out?
they have them, sure. I mean,
I'll do it. I'll take it on.
We'd have to, like I said, we'd have to find 10 municipalities. Call them,
I would
get their
use
rates.
the ones that we used last time in the report. Those municipalities, go to their website, see if their rates are published, and just, it could save a lot of money. It's $13,000 versus one staff member's afternoon.
I make a motion we extend this to the next meeting until we find out what Christine comes up with.
I'll do it. I really will. I don't care.
Well, there's more to the study too than,
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
sure,
not- it's
but I
not-
mean, we
yes,
could
it's-
start with that and.
It's a,
why don't, could we pull the old study out and give that to council so they can take a look at it and see what they're,
the original, the original.
yeah, the last
the
one a couple
ordinance?
years ago.
Sure.
And that way you guys can see what that $13,000 would entail.
Sure.
I'll table this.
And Christine can see if she wants to do it for less or not.
She'll have it done before tomorrow, watch.
For the small sum of what I already know.
I will say, just if we go back to that, when we did that study, our rates were very, very low based on other areas, including the county. And when we raised those, we still were relatively low. But we were kind of about where the county was, I think. But when it did say it's very, very low, we were like the lowest.
I mean, who knows
Yeah.
how long it had been before that since we had the last study done, right?
Yeah, and now I mean, Daryl's making all kind of money over there, right?
Right, I mean, if that's enough
They're
information,
saving us all kinds
I don't
of
know
money
what all the
there.
report entails, but maybe what.
Yeah, it'd be good to look at for you
Online.
anyway to see
You
that.
know, we might have enough info to make any adjustments.
We're not lowering rates.
And just so I'm clear, Sal, is the reason that this is on here based on the ask about the irrigation rates, or is this that the utilities have noticed that they ain't making enough money and so we need to look at rates?
No, this was based on the irrigation rate
Okay.
discussion.
So
Bring it down, right?
I got a question for Sal.
go ahead.
That may help me out. I know some of the problem with irrigation is that we have a moratorium on irrigation wells in the city. A lot, the county and other places allow people to drill wells just for irrigation. It saves the municipalities a lot of water, and it's isolated just to the homeowner. He has to pay the electric bill for the pump. What was the purpose of the moratorium on irrigation wells for residents? Do you remember, Sal?
Daryl, would you mind adding to that?
Is there a moratorium?
Our ordinance says we're not allowed to drill anything over 50 feet.
And I would like to know if we could lift that and maybe allow maybe a dozen residential wells to be drilled. I know there's a gentleman that spends a lot of money on irrigation, and
With allowing them to drill wells, you guys see the guy at the corner of Channel and Waterside, or the
Yes.
guy at Broadway.
Yeah, with the rust coming out of the ground,
You'll have that all over the city.
be spraying red rust everywhere.
Plus,
Yeah, does he have a well? Is that what the deal is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did some research on wells here, and what I found was that the water is it's not very usable. Like, it could actually harm your grass more than it could.
Just like the wells we have, it's going to be high in iron content,
Right.
which usually cause that rust color. And then,
And so,
plus we'd have to check with FDEP and Army Corps to see if, how many, if we were to lift that, are we allowed to do it? Because people did put irrigation wells years ago, but those regulations could have changed dramatically today. So we'd have to definitely look into all that.
So at the end of the day, based on the reason this is before us, nobody is going to complain about lowering the irrigation rates for the first couple tiers of where I see a problem. I don't think we need to engage an engineer to study that. I think we can look at that objectively and see, do we do
What
anything
it
with
takes to get that leveled out a little bit?
Yeah.
By
That's really-
consensus or emotion?
There was a motion, no second, so kind of in limbo.
What was the motion?
Chris motion to table the item till next meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Withdraw my motion.
You withdraw? Okay.
Yeah, withdraw.
Sorry about that.
You may want to consider, a finance analysis, because you are going to be cutting the tiers and cutting the amount. So, what as far as what do we collect as of now, and then with the modification, what are you going to be collecting at that point?
I think
so that definitely has to be looked into.
Yeah, I think, and for the most part,
and then make that decision.
people aren't using the irrigation, right?
I just quit altogether. I
Yeah,
said,
and so
I'm not gonna do it.
I think we could probably see month by month how much irrigation water is being used, and what tiers are being used. We have that data, and we can look at it and see. Oh, it makes sense. Now, obviously, if you lower it, then it's going to encourage people to use it.
He can cue in as well. We do run reports that show how much we pump, for irrigation and what we charge, and it's still quite a bit. There are quite a bit of people out there.
We pump more between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. than we do throughout the rest of the day. We can barely keep up at night at sometimes. So everybody's irrigating more than they should, because all I got to do is pull the report and see how much actually you irrigate. I mean, we still are in a water restriction, so it's still once a week.
This
But
is actually the next step, though.
Sand
right?
Pebble was
Right.
the biggest one until I talked to them about it. They were at times 300 and some gallons a minute.
They got broken stuff all over there. I've been over there before. The things are shooting straight up in the air. Like, yeah,
That's one of the problems.
water
is
towers, they're all broken.
People watering and setting their timers at that time of night, they're not standing out there and watching their irrigation
They're not
system.
spraying, they're shooting.
Well, that's the thing. They're not watching the sprinkler heads that are broken, or when the lawnmowers go over them. And the thing is that that's why we're pumping so much, is because in our entire
Broken
system
heads
there's
everywhere.
broken heads everywhere. So until they're affected in the pock is when they're like, oh, I gotta look into this.
So my thing is, this is my opinion. I don't think it's a rate thing. I think it's an overwatering thing.
Overwatering or not repairing your heads, right?
A mixture of both. We get a lot of complaints about high water bills. They think they're due credit and stuff like that. We look at their trends on census because it can be pulled up. I can go do it down to the minute of when they use it. And it just shows it's mainly at night, irrigating every other day, every day. There's some people that use 1,600 gallons a day. So, I mean, if we get the restrictions down, then we really won't have people with high bills.
Do you off the top of your head? Is it first 3,000 and 7,000 in irrigation? What's the tiers?
It's something, I don't have it in front of me, but it's something like that. Like your average home, say you have a 10,000 square foot lot and you have a 2,500 square foot house on it, you're irrigating actually 7,500 square feet. You only should be irrigating. If you go half inch, it's 7,000 gallons a month is what you should be actually watering if you're on a
Starting
1 day
page 105.
restriction a week,
106.
And our water table's not low, so it probably is now, but during the wetter seasons, it's usually right under the sod. So our ground holds a lot of water, a lot of retention. So
Page 107 has the.
I'm pulling up the actual.
Do we have
rates here.
records from when the rates were decided in Port Richey as why they were, like, who made the decisions and what the analysis was?
Yeah, that was
Do we have that kind of record?
We can go back on this particular this was done in 2024. This
Right,
isn't that.
so
Yeah,
there's
so
got to be some kind of historic.
we can pull up the agenda
Yeah.
in the minutes for that particular discussion.
Yeah.
We have that. This is not that old.
That'll tell us why, and we kind of need to know the why. It may not be ideal to pay more for irrigation, but if there was an actual reason for it that made sense, then we won't be reinventing the wheel by just deciding upon this ourselves. We'd understand the history of why those decisions were made.
And Christine, when you look up at the other municipalities, a lot of them have caps on their sewer.
Right.
So they don't allow irrigation meters. So they'll cap it on, let's say, 5,000 gallons or whatever. But so
Right.
just if you do go ahead and start looking at that, you got to keep that in mind.
Okay, we'll do. Yeah, if I could get a copy of the report, I'll try to.
So is the
Narrate.
irrigation. That's a bonding for stuff.
And the decision-making process, the factors where it went into making the
Page
decision.
107, number 5.
Okay, so we look at 107.
Number 5.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Number 5. Portable irrigation rate. So on a 3/4, 0 to so it's just first 12,000. I thought there was a tier below that, but so 0 to 12,000 on a 3/4 inch line, you're paying $11.78 a gallon, right?
Yes.
Okay, compared to the
Is it
huh
a gallon or per thousand?
Per thousand.
per thousand gallons, right? $11.78 per thousand gallons. That's for the first 12,000.
If you go to
Compare that to like it's $3 or something for the first 4,000 on
Yes,
your
106. Go page 106.
106.
I'm sorry. Yes,
Yeah, 106.
106.
So 0 to 4,000, you're paying $3.64. So, and you got sewer on top of that, which is
Well,
you got to add that in.
Yep. Well, there's a base. Yeah, there's the there's a water rate charge, then there's the base charge for water, then there's the base charge for sewer, and then the sewer bill.
I want to say it was sewer like $6 or something. I want to say it's around $9 or whatever, and you're paying basically $2 more every 1,000 gallons for irrigation than you would be if you just
Yeah, you get a
hooked
base
up the hose to your
You
sink.
get a base bill up to your first 1,000. Once it rolls over, is that when
And the whole idea of the irrigation rate is you're not, you should be paying less because it's not going into the sewer.
But remember, it's when we used to have the irrigation rates at the same potable level, and people were using 100,000 gallons a month just to water their lawns because it only cost them $75, $50, and they were watering constantly. And like I said, we'll bring you the data of how many people are still irrigating today.
Oh yeah,
The rates aren't phasing quite a bit of people because they're still
doing it,
They're
right.
still doing it.
But
I mean, they're still watering with no,
and some people that do it are complaining about
a
it.
lot of commercial businesses are irrigating, constantly. I mean, large homes.
In fact, Pasco County requires that you have an irrigation system if you get one of their commercial landscaping grants. They require, in order to get that grant, that you install the irrigation system and run it and sign a 5-year maintenance contract.
Mhm.
I remember when I moved into Blue Point, there was no irrigation, and I had the brownest, most disgusting yard on the planet, and I had to actually bring in grass to do it, and water it wouldn't stay alive.
Yeah. And I don't advocate that we would put the irrigation rates at the $3 and something. That'd be ludicrous because people would abuse that. All I'm saying is that we should probably get it down to it's a little bit less than if it was $9 with sewer in your first 1,000, the irrigation is like $8 or something.
It's $13.01 per thousand on the
But how do you make up that
on the
money?
sewer for the rate alone, and then you have the base charge.
If the city brings in far less revenue in irrigation rates, how do we make up
We'd
that
have to look
money?
at what the impact would be or whatever.
Right.
But you're still making money on the water.
Well, I understand. I'm
And
just saying
so-
it will decrease if you plan on just across the board.
The amount of money you
lowering those
make
rate limits.
would potentially decrease, but some people would probably use more too, to a degree. So it'd probably be a wash. I don't know. I'd have to look at the numbers.
I think what we need to do is we do need to table this because between providing the original rate study, information from when council passed this in 23-24, getting the total water usage, we could do a spreadsheet that would show the irrigation usage for like a 6-month spread, how much we're actually collecting as far as revenue for that, and then we can start deciding.
Why don't after budget or whatever, why don't we do like a water workshop or something?
There was a cost-benefit analysis back then that went into how the rates were determined. That would be a good thing to have as well. See if that work was already done and
that
then
was
just
done
kind of
in-
refresh it.
That was done in the study, which I'll
Right.
provide. They did a cost analysis. They also did, like I said, they also leaned towards conservation for the fact that, that's why the irrigation was set, and then also compared to others. Many years ago, we tried to get reclaimed water in here. When Tom O'Neill was city manager, I was a big advocate for that. That was something I really wanted to bring into the city, but unfortunately, the council at that time didn't move forward with that. That would have dramatically changed the cost of irrigation because reclaimed water is much less.
Sal, do you want to table it?
Huh?
You want me to table it again?
It's up to council, but I mean, just by the fact that we need more information, I agree with the mayor that we should probably continue this, but as a workshop, and then bring in all the data for everyone to look at. And then if we sit there during that workshop and come up with a hybrid idea of what to set the irrigation rate, then we can approach the city attorney and just have her draw the ordinance up.
Do we need a motion there?
No, by consensus. So everybody, any objections to tabling this to a workshop later date? Okay. Public comment?
Clarification, are you wanting to wait until after budget season? I know.
Yeah, we got enough workshops. Yeah,
Okay,
after
just
budget.
For my.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's not pressing. Okay. Next up, item number 7, Peregrine Technologies Agreement. Pass it to Mr. McCary for introduction.
And I'm passing this to the chief. He's been so quiet over there. You know, just watching everyone.
Catching up on all the phone stuff.
We're chatty, so be careful.
Yeah, so the Peregrine data sharing is a nationwide thing that law enforcement agencies do with each other. We enter into this agreement, we allow other agencies to see our information so we can see their information also. So if we're investigating a crime and maybe somebody lives in California, we can go into that agency's database in California and look and see what they did over there to use it as our investigative crime. There's auditing requirements on this to where we audit everybody. If somebody's found to be using it improperly, then we can pull their access to the system and also discipline for them. And we can also limit the data that we want other agencies to see, such as if we're doing a sensitive investigation on something in our city that we don't want other agencies to be able to, we can actually block that from them. Legals reviewed it all and said it was good to go as it is right now. And it's pretty
So
much.
the two things opens our data up to the outside agencies and allows us access to theirs as well.
Yes, nationwide. It's almost like our NCIC where we can actually run it for warrants, and we see warrants all over the country. But if they don't have a warrant, we can still see what they did in different states or different departments across the country. Very good investigative tool.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any further discussion? Public comment? Seeing none, put a vote on in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. What's that, Ash?
The motion in the second was very quiet.
Yeah, they're wore out.
Eric's beat us down.
Whatever.
Right?
Item number 8, mutual aid agreement, USFPD. I pass that to Mr. Clary for introduction.
And I'm passing this back to Chief since he did such a great job the first time.
You're getting good at that stuff.
I love our role. Great job.
So this is basically building relationships with other departments. USFPD, if you haven't noticed, is now building a football stadium on their campus. So they have come to us and asked us for assistance on certain game days. And they've been doing that with several different PDs because Tampa was doing it for a long time with them, and now Tampa can't pick up the whole entire load. So they asked us to start. It's very early in the talks because the football stadium won't be open until next year, but allow our officers to go down there and work football games for them. And if everything works out good, then eventually graduations, concerts, and things like that. It's a good way for our officers to make some off-duty money because we don't really have a lot of off-duty details in our city. And the pay is really good down there for what they're doing with these events. So I think it's a great idea for our guys, and they get to go out and work with other agencies and build those relationships. And also being at USF can also recruit people that are coming out of USF with degrees in the criminal justice program rather than us having to go down there and do special things when they're talking to people during casual conversation in these events. And again, legals approved this also or reviewed it and made some adjustments, and we changed them, and it's all been approved.
If it's a really good game, can council do a ride along on those days?
Sure.
Okay.
But unfortunately, usually the outside agencies get the traffic post outside. But there are inside posts, but there's training involved with everything depending on where you work in the stadium too. They're not going to just take our guys and stick them in a student section and expect them to be able to know how to deal with stuff.
Be out in the parking lot, right?
Yeah. So that's where it usually starts. But then, when agencies show that they're a professional and can do the good job, then they start moving them interior, and it's a good deal.
Is there a no recruitment clause that they can't recruit our stellar employees over to their team?
No, but that's up to me to create a good culture and an atmosphere here to where they don't want to go anywhere else.
Well, on our way to that, I think. So, is there a motion?
Motion to approve as drafted.
Second.
All right, motion is second, virtually. A
I'll
further
approve.
discussion? Public comment? Seeing none, put the vote all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, item number 9, phone communication system, Voyant vendor contract renewal. Pass that to Mr. LeCarry, I guess, for introduction.
I will take that.
You'll take that one? All right, good.
Wasn't it nice though when he talked?
It was.
It's like
Give me the paperwork. I'll take this.
you got this too.
I'm considering restarting negotiations, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, but
Hey, no problem. For City Council consideration is a renewal of the phone communications contract with our current vendor, Voyant, starting at a rate of $1,798.42 per month. Our IT manager has been able to negotiate a cost savings of $1,375.49 per month. That's a $5,078.16 in annual savings. Staff believes that this is the best direction to take and is seeking City Council approval to proceed. I would like to thank our IT manager, George Olbrich, for all the due diligence he did. He was on the phone with Voyant several times, and also he did reach out to other vendors, in case you're asking. But staying with this current vendor, and especially at a cost savings, especially with what we have to discuss in our budget, our new budget year, this is a big step in the right direction.
Yeah, and this will cover the overtime costs he had for Chris's password problems too. So, way to watch that.
So we recently, in the last couple of years, were originally with the company. Thank you for the reminder. We're originally with the company, an IP company who did our IP phone system, and we were paying these crazy rates, and we brought it down from like $1,500 down to $500, and got the same services. Switched companies, and all that. I'm not saying this is not good. You've already investigated it, George. You've been all over this. I don't know what our horsepower is here either. That may be a different model than we have there. But I know that stuff's coming down constantly,
We kept this as a 3-year contract, so renewal. So it's short, so we can continue looking into other options.
George, what did you come up with on rates on the other companies when they gave you a quote for our system?
So,
George Robick, 623 Ridge Road.
AKA the guy.
yeah. The big thing is, if we were to change vendors, we have to ship all our phones off. There's the porting of because all of our phones are part of the equipment from the company. So then we would have to go and acquire phones to replace it or get phones from the new vendor, which we did investigate comparable numbers, but the big thing was there's no training, there's no porting of numbers. Everybody's familiar with the system that's currently as it exists, and we're getting a price reduction. And as Sal said, it's for 3 years, and then we can go down this road again because, again, it would probably be lower in.
How old are our phones, George?
Our phones are, the current model that was on the table isn't manufactured anymore. But if we need a phone, we can get another phone or replace it, or we get replacement phones from, and we use, I think there are 411s or 410s, Polycom, great phone. We haven't had any real issues with the phones. I would say that they're probably 4 or 5 years old.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. If the total is $5,000 for the year, that's the new bill. That would be the new bill. Yeah, that's the current bill, and then that's the new bill.
So yes, they did, and again, I basically told the vendor, I said, look, you guys are killing us. So we need to make something happen here, or we'll be forced to move just because you guys have gotten to be really expensive. So they did a pretty good job, and I think on the quotes that they actually showed the discount on each line item that they're giving us as well. But yes, we could get something less, but again, it's the taking all of the phones, shipping them back, getting new phones, all the numbers that have to be ported into.
I had a call from a constituent, one of our residents today. They said they called, and this is not throwing anybody under the bus. They said they called up here and they called Sal. I don't know who they called. I don't know what number they went to. I have no idea. But there was no auto answer. There was no auto direct. And I'm wondering if we have a system that's not really doing this now, do we need to fix that?
Our auto attendant, if you call our 1900, and you'll get an option to, if you need to talk to this person, or if you need to talk to this, or you need emergency services. It's all. Of course, our auto attendant is 5 minutes long because of so many things that it's covering. So if they get impatient or kind of blow through it.
You've actually sat and listened through it and everything?
Actually, if you listen to it, it's Veronica.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has it in Spanish as well.
Yeah.
Yes, and in Spanish as well.
George.
Thanks, George.
Sure.
Okay, motion or discussion?
Motion to approve the updated 3-year phone communications agreement renewal with Voyant.
Second that.
Okay, motion is second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put the vote all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Could I have comment?
With opposed? Motion carries. Go ahead.
Could we, prior to 3 years from now, like maybe 2 years from now, have it on the calendar agenda to go shopping for a new and updated phone system, because all the technology changes really quick, and it's not as hard to program as it used to be, you know?
And
Yeah,
case,
I mean,
yeah,
that's, yes, that, we're kind of doing this as just as a stopgap.
No, I get it.
Carry us through.
Yeah.
And yes, we would.
I was thinking 2 years from now, we could be way ahead of the game, and we could come up with the latest and greatest technology and done.
in a lot of cases with renewals, like for phone systems or copiers and whatnot, that company will absorb.
Pick up the slack.
They'll pick up the slack or the current contract that you have. So that's nothing new. So yes, we'll definitely investigate that.
Yeah, well, they're getting $1,700 or $1,800 a month, but they're not going to do anything to keep billing us. You know, it's like, you know, as long as we're still paying it. I know with us, we had to kill the contract with our previous company and go with a new company. And these Polycon phones that you're talking about, phones are online. You can get really good phones online. They're just really cheap now. They're not what they used to be.
What is the breaking the contract cost?
I've not seen this contract, so I can't.
Oh, you haven't?
Nope.
You haven't seen the contract?
I have not.
I think that he was saying get prepared for when the third year comes around, weren't you, Chris? You weren't saying break the contract at the second year.
Well, no.
See, we just agreed on the contract, but
Right.
before we get to 3 years again, and we're like, oh, what do we do now? No, at 2 years, we're like popping and
Well, I'd just be curious. Like I said, 3-year contract's great, but if you got to pay it whether you use it or not, something in a year comes up this great deal, we need to know what's going to cost to break the contract. If we're stuck with it for 3 years or whatever.
most contracts are pretty.
It doesn't seem to address it. I'm quickly looking at it. There's not much in here at all about termination and that kind of thing.
I can look into that and provide details to council.
Just as the length is 3 years.
Okay. Well, so I mean, also it's passed. So
You know, that's something I wanted to bring up. It has become very unfriendly to sign these long-term contracts with anybody, right? It's like they want your business. If you're going to give us what we're worth, why do you want a 3-year deal? You know, I mean, that kind of thing. So why do we have to sign a 3-year contract on this one? Well, we go back and say, council said, we're not going to sign a 3-year contract. We'll sign a 1-year contract, and $1,398 is okay with us for right now, but we're going to sign a 1-year contract.
Well, that probably contingent on a 3-year deal, that pricing, right?
That's what, yes.
I'm just saying,
You can always go back and
as
say,
a business person, I hate contracts. Whenever they say, "Oh, we're going to tie you in for 3 to 5 years," I'm like, "Okay, next." We go on to the next one because I'm not. If your product is that good, I don't have to worry about being tied in for 3 years.
well, we could pull that back and say we're going to do a 1 year and have him go back and see if they'll honor it.
We can table and move it forward.
I would remove my motion and say, George, go
Well,
back and tell
it's
me what
passed.
the 1 year.
Hold on a second, it's passed. So now we have to have another motion to we retract that.
Yeah, a motion to amend. Oh, we've never really done that, have we?
Yeah, this is new.
Nancy, this is what we have here.
I know. I would move to withdraw the. Like, yeah, sorry.
She's going to love this. It's my second one of the night.
Make a new motion. Make the new motion explaining that you're
Amending the previous decision.
You want to address the previous motion that has passed, that you now are moving that to do whatever.
I move to amend the previous motion that has passed to go back to the phone vendor and tell them that we're willing to sign a 1 year deal at $1,375
At those rates, yeah.
at those rates, and
see what they come back with.
Or if I can add, or can you give them the option of allowing us to put language in the contract that you can terminate, have the 3 years, but that's part of it.
Terminate with a 3 year notice.
But have a
3
notice.
month notice.
30-day notice. I mean,
30-day notice.
Yeah, because there's nothing in here about termination.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So yeah, well, there you go, George. I'll rephrase my motion. So we'll call the vendor back and tell them that we'll give them a 3 year, but we want a 30-day out. Okay. And that's where we want to go, right? Is there anything else we want to add to that, Ms. Nancy?
I don't think we need to go this far. So let's all back up. So you already, that's how I sound. It sounds heartburning. You're okay with the 3 years if you can get the 30-day cancellation,
Right.
termination. So I think what we need to do is your motion can stand as it originally was, but you are also authorizing the county attorney, city attorney, and
You looking for a
acting
motion?
city manager to finalize the contract. That's where I come in and I say, here's new language we want. You're not approving the contract, you're approving us to finalize the contract. See the difference? Does that make, nope, no, too much, too many words?
I don't know how much legal
Okay.
business I'm gonna jump into
No.
this because
Well,
we
no,
could spend
most,
$3,000
mostly,
on
right,
legal fees.
mostly
to
when
drive
you guys
this.
know, mostly when you guys do a contract, what it says here is you guys authorize the city attorney and the city manager to negotiate and finalize, and city manager to sign the contract. Here just went to approval of contract. We do it the way we normally would do it. I would review this and give my comments, which would be, you want a termination clause. They agree to it, we're done. It's signed, it's over. They don't agree to it, it comes back to you guys.
I was going to include the city attorney, but
Anyway,
well, no, but on this particular issue, it was a renewal with a vendor that we already have a relationship with. I didn't see any reason to include this, especially at a cost savings. But if we're amending this motion to do that and go forward with that, I'm more than welcome to include that. But just, it's, once again, now we are going to put in for her time, plus the fact that we're going to be continuing to paying the same rate until a contract is negotiated. So
just from my
just-
knowledge, what does it take to negotiate a phone contract, Nancy? How much time does it take?
I've never done a particular phone contract with Voyant, so it depends on them. We just did one with, was it FDOT or FDEP that took no time at all, and they agreed to our request. Others, it takes a lot of time and they give us nothing. So it just
Well,
depends.
this is
It all
just a
depends on
phone
their terms.
contract. I mean,
I was trying to avoid you doing a new motion.
no,
Well,
I was
here's
trying to push this forward.
Well, here's
procedurally.
procedure. Let's do this. Here's the procedure we have to do. I need somebody who voted yes, was all of us, besides myself, because I can't do it. Make a motion to reconsider. And I need to second that, and then we need to vote on it, and then we can go back, and it basically resets it.
I have a question first.
Go ahead.
Nancy, if a contract is silent on termination,
It's completely silent, yes.
so it's silent on termination, so do they have a cause of action if we terminate early anyway?
The argument could be that it doesn't, that it doesn't give them a cause of action, but they're going to argue that there is, because there's nothing that says we can terminate. So it would be an argument in court, and you'd probably have to litigate it and see where it goes. That's why it's better to address those things up front.
So we have a past motion to accept the contract.
I'm just trying to think through this a little further without just dumping this on Nancy's lap. Because it was not on Nancy's lap before we started. Now it is on Nancy's lap, and I want to make sure that I'm not creating more stuff for Nancy to do. Because you're listening about this all right now.
I have the
Yeah,
long
I don't want to
list.
keep dumping things on your lap.
I appreciate that, but I am here for that purpose. So if you want to keep it off my plate, your original suggestion for George to act as your motion to reconsider would be to have George do what you want George to do. Ask
To have
for
a 30-day out.
30-day out or
Yeah.
a year only, whatever you prefer. That would be.
By consensus, are we okay with the 30-day out with George?
Yes, with George.
Okay.
Well, before we can do anything, I need a motion to reconsider the vote on the prior.
I make a motion to reconsider the vote on the prior Voyant approval.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put the vote on favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion is reconsidered. Now it's back to where it was. Now you can make a new motion.
So it's still the same motion or make a new motion?
Whatever you want. Now it's open.
So I make a motion for George to go back to the vendor, Voyant, and tell them that we will sign a 3-year deal, but we want a 30-day out.
Or do you want to do the year?
You can do do a 100-year deal if you get a 30-day out. It doesn't matter.
Well, I probably, let's going to have the conversation. I'd probably go ahead and say, we'll do a 1 year without the 30 days, or we'll do a 3 year with 30-day out. That's probably how I'll do it. And that way
Can we please clarify, are we doing 1 year or 3?
That'd be any term you ever have in a contract, whether it's a year or 3 years, you want a termination clause. What if tomorrow they become the worst vendor ever? They're not providing what they should provide. You always want a termination clause.
So we're going to sign a 3-year deal
My
with
opinion.
a 30-day
Okay.
out, and that's my motion.
Okay.
All right. And then I'll give us time, Sal, after we get through our budget, to be able to figure out whether we can get a better deal on something else.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion second. Any further discussion? Public comment? Same, put a vote on favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, item number 10, Wildland firefighting gear purchase. Pass that to Kevin for introduction, or you?
Oh, absolutely. Captain Quinn will be taking this one.
I do like the fact you made him wait till the very end to get his money. I like that.
So on September 15th, we received notification from the Division of State Fire Marshals that we received a grant for the purchase of 15 sets of Wildland firefighting gear. We went through some stuff back and forth with them to get a waiver from the state of Florida to be able to get this approved. Here we are today, to where they're awarding us the grant. The city will be required to pay $2,001.80 of the grant for a total purchase of $30,065.80. Let's stand for any questions.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I got Bob with a second.
Yep.
Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, put the vote on favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Hey, just, what's exactly Wildland? Is that like,
It's a brand, right?
No, it's structural firefighting gear has 3 layers in it. It's thick, it's bulky, it's hot. This is one layer of gear that allows the firefighters to, be able to work in Florida's heat. And this gear also does not only wildland, but car accidents, technical rescue stuff on that side. So we're limiting the exposure that the firefighter has to their bunker gear with the carcinogens and all that other stuff inside of it. And we're also extending the life of the bunker gear because now the firefighter's not going through the woods in a $6,000 set of bunker gear, ripping it up, where this is, as you can see, it's like $900 for the pants, $900 for the jacket. Something rips, we just replace that. Other than that.
like, I was curious for the wording.
And I believe if you get called out like to another county to help them fight a fire, you're required to have your own gear. You can't, they won't give you that, right?
Yeah, correct. And also we use this when you guys see regularly, we help and assist the state park on their control burns. So this will be on that side.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are getting that.
Okay, next up is old business. Is there any old business to discuss?
Does anybody want to discuss the dredging project?
Sure.
It's on there.
Being funny.
Sure, Bob.
Christine.
I'll make a motion to
humor over there.
adjourn.
What's that, Bob?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Well, hold on.
Second.
Hold on.
Don't forget comments.
We got
Hey,
comments.
you started it.
Aye.
So any old business?
No.
Okay, moving on. Comments from Mayor and City Council. I'll start with Councilman Hubbard. Any old business? I mean, any comments?
Not tonight.
Okay. Councilwoman Burke?
No.
Councilwoman Sullivan?
Nope.
Vice Mayor Mayor?
I did some comments, just a little bit, short comments.
Okay.
I wanted to say that after being in the city for 10 years and having multiple interactions with Sal, I'm very thankful, Sal, you're here to help us where you are today. Thank you.
Thank you. We need to remember that as we talk in the future. Just keep that in mind.
Did I?
Just keep that in mind.
So I did not stroke your ego enough today, is what you're saying?
No, just keep that in mind. It's all right.
You got
You already
Thank
negotiated
you,
the contract, didn't you?
you do got to consider the source. So. Okay, I'll take that motion now. Oh, I don't have anything else. So, go ahead. Jump in there.
That's it.
I need a motion.
Go ahead.
Bob?
Oh, motion to adjourn.
I made a motion.
Bob made a motion.
Well, yeah, that was old. Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Wait. Clarify who made the motion in the second, because the first one was not real.
Yeah, Chris made the motion, and then Bob seconded it.
All right, thank you.
Right? Right, Bob, you seconded that, right?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye.